Hello and welcome on the very first video on my new channel Yatta, where computer science, electric engineering and geek lifestyle all collide. Now in my first video, I'll actually introduce you to a new series of mine where I will try to upload a video every day where I will show you how to write a simple Hello World program in almost every programming language that is out there. And by almost I say most widely used programming languages. So today I will show you how to write a simple Hello World program in the Java programming language. Now if you've ever dealt with programming or are trying to be a programmer, you will most likely have encountered Java in one way or the other. I am going to write this program in a simple text editor. I'm using Atom, and any text editor like Notepad or Notepad++ works as long as it's not a word processor. So to get started, Java is an object-oriented programming language, and as a sign of that, we write most of our files in forms of classes, or we write classes and save our files according to the class that this file contains. So our program will only have one class, which is the main class, which also contains the program. It's called Hello World because we're writing a Hello World program. So in order to tell the computer that this is going to be our main file or main class, or this is going to contain the code that should be executed, we're going to have to insert right here a main method. And we have to write public static void and then main string array args and these curly brackets. Now don't worry, I will explain this. So this is our main function. Everything that is between these curly brackets will be executed by the program when we run this Hello World program. The void here means that we are telling the computer not to expect any return in forms of integers or whatnot, because, well, we don't need anything. The public is just here so this function is visible in all classes that would be in this program, but we only have one class, so it isn't really that important. And our program actually will consist of just one line, without all the buffer code, of course, and that line is system.out.println hello world. How about an exclamation mark? And the most important thing in Java almost is that most lines have to end with a semicolon, just like this. So let me check for any typos. No, there aren't any typos. Very well. So what this means is that system.out is sort of the standard output of the Java programming language, and we're using the function println, which prints this string hello world to the standard output. In our case, it could be, a terminal. So let me save this file. In Java, it is best practice to name your file the same way you named the class. In this case, the class that runs that contains the main method. And you have to add a suffix, an ending called .java. I'm going to save it here on the desktop exactly, so it should be visible right this instant. Yes, over there. So now let's just go ahead and run this program. I'm going to run it in the terminal. Let me close this window. And in order to do this, to be able to run this source code, you need to have the Java JDK installed. And to check that, you can just type in, I'm using Mac here, but it should be the same on Windows, Java/version. I'm having version 10.0.2 here. And if you don't have any installed, then just check the description or just Google JDK quickly and install it. It'll take less than 5 minutes. So to run this code now, we have to compile it. And what's unique to Java also is that this source code is compiled into bytecode by your JDK, your Java runtime, to be run by your Java runtime environment. And the resulting bytecode actually depends on your operating system. So when it is executed, it can be executed on any operating system. This is in stark contrast, for example, to machine code, where if you write one kind of source code, you can compile it on one kind of processor, but you cannot process it on any other processors. But because we use Java in conjunction with the JDK, it's sort of universally usable. So let's go ahead and compile it. You have to say Java C. The C here in Java stands for compile, and include the name of the class. No, the name of the file, I'm sorry. You have to put in the name of the file that contains the class, hello-world.java. Also, make sure that you're on the same folder as your file. Luckily, I'm already in there, but usually you're not on the desktop. Now, there is no output whatsoever, but that's a good sign because it means it's successfully compiled the code. And now there should be a class file over there. Yes. So this is the class file. This is sort of the code that is not humanly readable anymore, but is more readable for a machine than our source code. Oops, wrong text editor. Now, just to see, out of curiosity, this is what this bytecode now looks like. So yeah, there are two words that we can read, coffee and babe, but it doesn't really tell us a lot about what this program actually does. It does have a meaning though, but I will not go into it in this video because it would be simply too complex for someone, for example, who just wants to write a Hello World program. Now we want to run our code, of course, and we just have to write Java, and now just put in the name of the class, not the file name, not .class. I will just show it. That would not work. It would give us an error. Just put in the name of your class that you have. Let me show you. Defined here. Now let's run it, and it should put out hello.world, hello, world. And that is it. That is a simple Hello World program. It basically just consists of one line. But if you're interested, we can expand upon it, and let me just show you how. So what we have done here, I have not specified that, is we have given the main function a parameter, which is a string array, an array of strings. That is called args, which is short for arguments. What we can do now is we could provide this function with an input and concatenate that input with the string we have here, like this. And what this just means is that we're concatenating the string hello with the string that is at the 0th index of args, basically the first string that we put in, or the only string that we put in, and add this exclamation mark at the end. Let's save this quickly. We have to recompile it, like this. And we can use the same class name when we run this, because we haven't changed that one. But now we have to actually put something in beyond this. And that is, of course, a string or a string array, but in this case it's just a string. How about hello world and as a string YouTube? And this will put this out, hello YouTube. And now whenever you run this code, you could change the parameters like this, hello Steve, for example, and it will say hello Steve. This should be enough for this video. Feel free to play around with it if you have any questions concerning Java or this particular code that we've just written. Feel free to put it in the comments. Also, feel free to subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up because it is a pretty new channel. I need all kinds of support or feedback. If you have any suggestions for future programming language Hello World videos, feel free to send them to me too. Until then, see you on my next video. Goodbye.